Hi, I'm Aaron. Welcome back to the Canadian Science Policy Conference. I'm here with Dr. Pierre Bilodeau, who is the Executive Director of the Science Branch at the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Dr. Bilodeau, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, specifically what you do there and why it's important for Canadians.
Well, I'm Executive Director of the Plant Health Science Directorate. So CFIA has three different branches: science, program, and operation. So science, we provide advice on which we can build programs to try to regulate some of the areas in plant health, animal health, and food safety. And then once the program is built, then we work with our operation and the inspectors that are on the field, on the ground, trying to inspect and see that everything is good. So from a science perspective, we are there to provide the science advice for invasive species, for instance, in the plant health sector, for a plant with novel traits, that we regulate in Canada, for some of the risk assessment. So if somebody wants to import or export something from Canada or to Canada, then we have to make sure that whatever they're importing or exporting will meet either our regulation in Canada or maybe the regulation from the foreign country where they want to export the material.
Awesome. So you have your PhD. What branch of science did you do your PhD in, and how do you feel like that prepared you for the job that you have right now?
I was trained in biochemistry, so I did undergrad and a master's degree in biochemistry, molecular biology, and then I did a PhD in plant molecular biology. For me, I went in and out of government for many times, and I find that my PhD has been a very good foundation on which I can develop the knowledge, become a scientist. So I've worked in industry and in government before as a scientist. And then through different opportunities, I moved into management, either from a funding perspective at the NSERC or now with CFIA as a regulator. And I think my PhD is really the foundation under which I can see very, very good how things works and how I can make the system better or make the government and the regulation better.
So being in sort of the Food Inspection Agency, we hear a lot about things like genetically modified organisms, and there's a lot of bad science, bad information, pseudoscience out there. How do you combat that and someone in your role, and what sort of strategies do you feel like we could do better at and what we're already doing well at to try and get that information clear?
I gave a presentation yesterday, and the message I provided was that in order to have good regulatory policy, which we need in Canada in order to manage the plant with novel traits and everything else, what we really need is good science and the appropriate environment to try to implement those regulatory policies. So that's where I find, from a scientific perspective, being involved in CFIA, then it's up to us to try to develop the science for either the plant with novel traits or the other issues. But because we don't have a lot of resources internally, a big role that we have to do now more and more is to try to push for collaboration among scientists in government, but also with scientists outside of government, either in academia or elsewhere, to try to get the knowledge that we need to try to write the right regulatory environment for the product that we either want to import or export.
So you're at the Canadian Science Policy Conference. Can you tell us a little bit about what you see the value of at an event like this?
To me, this is a great event. It brings a lot of good people, scientists, policymaker, policy decision maker, and then it allows us to try to have a conversation, which sometimes I think we lack in the line departments. There's a lot of job that we have to do, so sometimes we're very narrow in on what it is that we have to do. We don't necessarily take enough time to try to lift our head and see what's around us. I think what this conference does, it allows us the time to look around what other people are discussing to try to engage in that conversation and have a very good opportunity to listen to others as well, to see maybe my issue is the same as your issue, so we can work together to make it happen.
That's great. So where can interested viewers find out more about the work that you do and more about the work that the Food Inspection Agency does?
We have good websites in where we provide the information. You know, if we do surveys, annual surveys. I know recently we released the 2016, 2017 data from our annual survey, so people can have a look at this. You can either take the short executive summary that give you a brief overview of what's happening, or you can look, I think it's a 120-page document, so you can really dig in to try to figure out what it is that is happening in this province, this particular pest or this other pest.
Interesting.
So that will be one, and there's many other documents that
Yes.
we have. And they could contact us as well to try to figure out what it is that we're doing and how can we collaborate.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.